Welcome back to my channel. Iran has responded to Donald Trump's peace offer, emphasizing the need to end the conflict and ensure maritime security before addressing nuclear program. Quote, U.S. military posture, what they're saying. Trump claims military victory, yet suggests the conflict could continue for weeks. That's the posture of the U.S. military. And Donald Trump, wow, contradicting all the time. A U.S. lawmaker, Senator Mark Kelly, has revealed an acute shortage of U.S. military munitions due to the ongoing conflict. I will talk more about that in a second. Benjamin Netanyahu has hinted at the necessity for special military operations within Iran to remove enriched uranium, suggesting the U.S. should take the lead in this mission. Now, European policy has shifted for French President, for example, Emmanuel Macron, retracted plans to send French warships to the region following firm warnings from Iran regarding the UK and France's potential involvement into this conflict. I'll talk more about all of this in details, but before I do that, if you're not subscribed to my channel, continue subscribing. Now, I want you to take a listen. I know you cannot stand listening to him, but I want you to just pay attention for a second.
How do you envision the highly enriched uranium will be removed from Iran?
You go in and you take it out.
With what? Special forces from Israel, special forces from the United States?
Well, I'm not going to talk about military means, but what President Trump has said to me, I want to go in there. And I think it can be done physically.
Okay, I'm done with that genocidal serial killer, the worst, the devil. I'm done. I don't want to listen anymore, just like you. He made it clear when he was asked this question. So you are sending your military forces? He did not answer. Or is it United States military forces? He did not answer. Basically, he means, yes, of course, what are you talking about? United States will do it for me. I'm not going to be sending my people. They're the chosen people. Obviously, they're diaper armies. But the message from this shaitan, this devil, is clear. United States military will pay the price for my ambition, for my war. Now, this is what this diaper or dementia Don had said. He was talking to 60 Minutes. President Trump just dropped this time this line on Iran. Quote, we are dealing with people that have a certain power. It's very interesting. They make a deal and they break it. Okay. Again, every accusation is a confession. Remember, from Trump administration, nobody betrayed a country like United States betrayed Iran twice in less than a year. Iran is trying with the wrong, or Iran is messing with the wrong president. Take a listen.
Weaponry, they have no radar, they have no leaders. Their leaders are gone. The first set, the A team is gone, the B team is gone, and part of the C team is gone. But I think we're dealing with people that have a certain power. It's very interesting because, you know, they make a deal and then they break it. Then they make a deal, they break it. Weaponry, they have no radar.
Now he's acknowledging that Iran has people with a lot of power. Iran has military with power. That's what he's really acknowledging on camera. But at the same time, saying the exact same thing. Iran doesn't have a navy, doesn't have an army, doesn't have a regime, nothing. Everything has changed. Wow, unbelievable. Who buys this guy's BS? His MAGA base, of course. Take a listen. This one, this is from Anna Kasparian. Iran crushes U.S. empire, destroys 228 American bases in total cover-up. Obviously, she's referring to United States. Anna Kasparian and Washington Post exposed the bombshell. Tehran strategically dethroned Pentagon missile defense, obliterated actual Pentagon missile defense. Take a listen.
Israel insists on keeping the United States in this disastrous war, knowing how much it has already damaged our military sites across the Middle East, across the Gulf. In fact, the Washington Post has a new exclusive that dives into just how extensive that damage is based on satellite imagery. Iranian airstrikes have damaged or at least destroyed at least 228 structures or pieces of equipment at U.S. military sites across the Middle East since the war began, hitting hangars, barracks, fuel depots, aircraft, and key radar, communications, and air defense equipment. In fact, Iran was very strategic in their strikes early on in the war, going after our radar systems and essentially crippling what we had left of our depleted missile defense systems. And while CNN reported just last week that 16 US installations had been damaged, the Washington Post has learned that the situation on the ground is actually a lot worse.
Okay, so when they say CNN, 16 installations were damaged or destroyed, actually they use the word complete destruction. That's, I believe, the word they used beginning of the video, CNN, coming from CNN. When they talk about destruction, complete destruction of installations, they're not talking about specific equipments like radar system, like emergency intelligence service. Not talking about fighter jets. It's not talking about specifically tanks, for example, or armored vehicles, none of those things. So when an installation gets completely blown up, it basically means all of these things, all of these equipments were also completely destroyed. And I'm just guessing the loss is not 25 or 50 billion. I believe the loss is, as Abbas Arakchi said, $100 billion. And that is just in matter of just few days. Iran's response to the US proposed text to end the war has been sent to Pakistan. So this is the report from Al Jazeera. After facing complete defeat and humiliation, Donald Trump administration, Iran is not willing to talk to this dementia Don, this weak man. He's showing all the bravado, but he is absolutely trapped. Now Iran is not talking to him directly in any capacity. They are now communicating with Pakistan. Let's see what they're saying here.
I have some breaking news to share with you now. I'm reading it for the first time. The Islamic Republic of Iran's response to the latest U.S. proposed text to end the war was sent to the Pakistani mediator today. That is according to Iranian state media. The foreign ministry spokesman had previously announced several times that Iran's views and considerations regarding the U.S. proposals would be sent after completing the studies and final conclusions.
Yeah, and when they did send this response to Pakistan, they did not actually give any solution to Donald Trump. He's still stuck, as Senator Mark Kelly said. This war is stuck. He told this to Pete Hegseth. There is no off-ramp. There is no end to it. Now, this professor from Iran, Tehran, he said, total defeat to Washington. Exposed by Professor Morandi, the Pentagon completely failed and was forced to accept Iranian terms. The White House suffered a massive symbolic humiliation. That's what they discussed.
They have to fulfill all of their obligations within the framework of the ceasefire that was agreed after 39 days of war. So the Americans began the war, and with Netanyahu and the Zionist regime, they began the war by demanding unconditional surrender, and they failed. And at the end of the day, after 39 days, they accepted the Iranian 10-point plan as the framework for negotiations. Trump himself accepted that. So that is why we accepted a ceasefire. And of course, it was a major symbolic defeat, and that's why Trump was ridiculed and attacked, and then his spokeswoman said, no, we threw this in the bin, but this is what he accepted. And so...
No, I don't think Trump has accepted anything unless or until he discussed that with Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu, through this interview, the one just I played you guys, made it very clear to Donald Trump that you are not in charge, you don't make decision, it is me. I will make the decision. I will send US troops to Iran to take out those uranium enrichment. And so wait for me. Don't say anything that you have concluded this war, because Donald Trump is not in charge of this Iran war. Netanyahu is. It's so pathetic and so unfortunate for United States people.
That is the framework for negotiations. And then we had the ceasefire. They have to fulfill all of their obligations.
Yeah, they all definitely have to fulfill all the obligation. Now let's talk about Senator Mark Kelly. He says the Pentagon has updated lawmakers on how many attack missiles and interceptor rounds have been fired off. This is what Mark Kelly has to say.
Now to Arizona Democratic Senator Mark Kelly, who we spoke with earlier, and began by asking whether the Pentagon has provided an answer on how depleted U.S. munitions are because of the war with Iran.
Yes, Margaret, we have. We've been tracking it. A number of times we've been briefed by the Pentagon on specific munitions. Actually, it's been pretty detailed on Tomahawks, ATACMS, SM-3s, THAAD rounds, Patriot rounds, so those interceptor rounds to defend ourselves. And the numbers are, I think it's fair to say it's shocking, how deep we have gone into these magazines because this president got our country into this without a strategic goal, without a plan, without a timeline. And because of that, we've expended a lot of munitions. And that means the American people are less safe, whether it's a conflict in the Western Pacific with China or somewhere else in the world. The munitions are depleted. You may have seen me ask the Secretary of Defense this question about how long it's going to take to replenish. We're talking about years.
Well,
one thing as an American, you should take note of this. United States is not even protecting itself. You are not safe at all. Even if Iran has a nuclear weapon, you will be a lot safer as long as they do not attack you with their missiles. Not the nuclear weapon, but with their missiles. You will be safe if Iran has a nuclear weapon. But you are not safe from Iranian missiles. You know why? Because all your munitions, the interceptor missiles, were sent to Israel. The Zionist state of Israel is the priority here, not the United States. When Donald Trump talks about Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon, don't buy that story, because the real danger is still Iran's missiles. If you have to fear anything from Iran, it's just the basic equipment, just the basic munitions they have. They do not even have to have a nuclear weapon, because the United States is totally unprotected, totally. The most vulnerable country in the world right now is the United States. Even though you may think you have the biggest, the mightiest military, but you are the weakest at the moment. And it is not because of your military is weak itself. It is because of the policies Donald Trump, his administration, United States politicians are making in regards to protecting Israel. So Israel is protected. You are not. You are not. Unbelievable.
Admiral Paparo, the head of U.S. Pacific Command, was recently asked in front of Congress about American readiness and whether the diversion to the Middle East was hurting it. He said he did not see any real cost on our ability to deter China. From what you have heard, when you say it's shocking, do you think that the U.S. would be able to defend, for example, Taiwan if China tries to move against it? Or are you saying we are not in a position to do that right now?
Well, it all depends on the length of a conflict. You know, conflict that lasts a matter of days or just weeks. I think we're well positioned to do that. If a conflict goes on for months or years, when it takes years to replenish some of these munitions, of course we're going to be in a worse posture than we otherwise would be in if this war in Iran didn't happen. And by the way, Margaret, what are the American people getting out of this? I mean, this president said he wasn't going to start any new wars. He was going to bring down costs. He's done exactly the opposite. War against Iran, costs on everything are up.
Again, this is all happening because of Benjamin Netanyahu. He is making, or he has made, he has made United States the weakest country in terms of self-defense, because all of his self-defense munitions, interceptor missiles, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, all of them are now being deployed to protect the Zionist state of Israel. Subscribe for more videos in the next one.